back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Two Dudes in the Mexican. I'm your host, I'm doing Victor Salazar. To the left of me, my co-host, I'm doing Peter Soprano.
What up?
To the right of me, resident Mexican, David Quinones.
Orale mi gente.
And we had a lineup for today's show, but I'm going to hijack the first 10 minutes and start it off with the Mets Watch. Breaking news, David.
This was going to be about when he said that.
Breaking news, David. Your shitty ass owners are selling the team.
Majority
80% of the team within the next 5 years. And you have a new owner,
Mr. Cohen.
Steve Cohen. Some people have him labeled as $9.3 billion worth. Others have him $13.2 billion worth. Your thoughts, number one, on you actually having a credible owner. And number two, on you having the richest owner in Major League Baseball now, within 5 years.
Listen, I was all in when Mark Cuban wanted to buy this team. Of course, that went out the window. This guy, he's got a lot of money. Obviously, he's into hedge funds supposedly. So the future looks bright. I think most Met fans, I'm going to say every Met fan, most Met fans can say that they are happy that the Wilpons, aka coupons, are finally selling the team, at least the majority ownership. So I think it's a great move for all, Met fan base. LGM, baby, LGM.
Quick question to you. Mark Cuban wanted to buy the Mets, wanted to buy the Cubs.
Yes.
MLB owners pretty much nixed that idea.
Yeah.
This isn't Mark Cuban, but this is also a guy that has more money than they do.
Yes.
On top of having more money than they do, he can outspend them in a league where there is no salary cap. All you gotta do is pay the luxury tax, and he's a hedge fund guy.
Yeah.
The rumor is that Billions, at another show on Showtime,
That's a lot of money.
is kind of based off this guy's life. He's lavish. He pretty much, whenever he does something, he goes all in.
Yeah.
Do the owners approve this guy?
They will. Just because I think the reason why they voted down Cuban was just because of his personality.
I was going to say
I think it's just because he can be a little brash. We've seen him at NBA games yell at officials, and they don't want that as part of their boys' club. But this guy's a little different. He doesn't act the same way, so I think they'll vote him in.
Even though he's got more money than anyone,
Yeah.
he can pretty much do whatever he wants with the money that he has because he'll pay the luxury tax.
Yep.
He'll spend on players.
it's not going to be cheap.
They are.
And he's got there's things about him. He took on the NCAA before. So there's things about that already written.
Just by everything you're describing, it reminds you of a modern day Doris Fembra.
Okay.
That's what it reminds me of.
I like that. Comes from a Braves fan, too. I appreciate that.
And I pose this question to you. There's a lot of starting pitching on this market. There's a Nelson Rendon on this market. Does
Anthony.
Steve Cohen, Anthony Rendon, sorry. Does Steve Cohen be like, hey, here's a couple $100 million.
Listen,
You want to go sign some players this offseason? Or, obviously he's not going to take control of the team till 2024, I believe. Majority control ownership. But is there like a wink, like,
Listen, God, I hope so, because, listen, listen,
Yo, take the picks away. They did with the Braves, they could do with the Mets too. Take the picks away.
listen,
I'm the first to report it.
I think the Mets have a great core of players. If they can work off of that core, I think this can be a playoff team. This can be a really, really good team to come for a long time, especially with their starting pitching. So and their young stars coming up. I mean, listen, the Cy Young, and the rookie All-Star came off this team. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen just because it happened. These guys had great years. So,
They may actually resign their pitching now.
I hope so. So I mean, who knows?
Stroman free agent this year and then the door after that.
And then I pose this question to you, Peter. With a new guy in town that spends all this money, what pressure does that put on the cross-town rival New York Yankees now that they're trying to be fiscally responsible, which they made $400 million, after capita, after all the bills are paid, the Yankee organization, Steinbrenner's made $400 million last year. And now you have a guy that's coming in that has more money than them, may not be the cachet of the New York Yankees in the history, but the New York Knicks are still a viable franchise in the media capital of the world.
Yeah.
So that's attractive. are the Yankees now still going to be, we're fiscally responsible, or are they going to pay Garrett Cole 8 years, $280 million this offseason to show the rest of the world that they're still the Yankees?
I don't think they're going to do that. I think it's going to all come down to winning. And if the Mets, then the Yankees fans are going to make fun of them. Like, you're spending money now, you still can't win. If the Mets fans start winning and they get to the World Series and start winning, then it's going to put the pressure on the Yankees. Like, why did you let this team come up and pass you like that? So it's all going to come down to whether they start winning or not. But I don't think it'll have that pressure for right now.
I think it has the pressure right now, and I know. Here's the thing: it's a political answer, a politically correct answer.
No, it wasn't the truth.
Here's what I think, though. Here's what I think. I think the Yankees are all in on Garrett Cole, and I think this happening today only puts more pressure on Brian Cashman to get to his fucking cheap owners that are making money hand over foot and don't want him spending and starting pitching. I think this puts the pressure, and I'll make a prediction now before we get to the hot stove. I think the Yankees sign Garrett Cole, whatever it takes, for however much.
I think they do too.
I think the Yankees get him. I think this is the first time. I think the pressure is actually on Brian Cashman, and it's because of Steve Cohen.
Cashman's been pulled over. He don't feel pressure, yo.
But did you guys see what CeCe said? I like actually what he said.
No, what is that?
He said, "Man, you pay that guy, you give him the money, he'll fucking pitch on the moon." So listen, it's true. If you give him the money, I think he wants to go to California, but listen, if you give him the right money, and yes, CeCe also wanted to go to California. Also, you give him the right money, he's gonna pitch you.
And at the time, they gave CeCe a lot. At
161,
that time,
I think.
Yeah, it was a lot for a pitcher at that time. It was like a top 3 for a pitcher.
Damn right it fucking was.
So now, are they going to do that again with how they've changed their strategy?
I think they have to. I think
they will.
I think
after paying Mike Trout that much money, but the Angels like Artie Moreno shell out the rest of the
I think Artie Moreno's going to lose. Because here's the thing, when you're Artie Moreno and you pay all that money to Mike Trout and you have the Asian dude Otani and you're still not winning and you go out and get a pitcher, let's say you get Garrett Cole. Why does Garrett Cole want to pitch in the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, of the United States, or the Western Hemisphere? They don't have a name. Who are the LA Angels?
He definitely, I think, would rather come to the New York market where
I think if he stays west, I think it'll be
big city in New York, big city lights in New York. I mean, who doesn't want to pitch?
I think the Yankees will have to pay him more. I think
they will.
I think they will, though.
I think money talks. I think CeCe wanted to go west. Brian Cashman visited him in his house. They had lunch. They had drinks, whatever. And CeCe became a Yankee. Long story short, Yankees won the World Series. So, to you, Cashman, I hope Cohen puts fucking pressure up your ass.
300?
Cash.
280, I think.
I think the Angels will play.
I think the Angels will.
I think
the Angels will.
You said they said.
All right, so that was my little takeover of the day. I wanted to get out there because obviously we're in the New York market here. Dave's a Mets fan.
Right, baby.
Garrett Cole met with the Yankees. Cashman went to Garrett Cole's house, I guess, over the weekend to start preliminary talks. Steven Strasburg's next on the list, so, just throwing that out there. But
You Strasburg to that, man.
I think, they are meeting him today.
Cole yesterday.
So they're definitely gonna sign one of them.
We'll see.
I think so.
So, big week over the past weekend. Again, I hope you guys had a good holiday. Ate a lot of turkey, got some drinks in, watched some football.
Foosball.
I was at the Giants game. Terrible fourth quarter. Terrible fourth quarter.
It's the tail of the whole season.
17-13 until the fourth quarter came, and that was it. I'm not expecting to win. I'm not expecting to be Aaron Rodgers on the snow. But whatever, it is what it is. The marquee game of the week was Hal's favorite team, the San Francisco 49ers. The Baltimore Ravens
Lived up to the hype.
lived up to the hype. Again, it was
Not the game of the week.
the game of the week. Thoughts on, are the Ravens the best team in the National Football League at this moment?
I'm going to say no.
Son of a bitch.
Wait for that.
No.
And it's a team, you're not going to hold me after this. And it's a team that I actually don't like, but they continue to win. They continue to win big games. I think Seattle right now is the best team in the league.
Ooh. Best team in the league. The Ravens, 10-2. The Ravens beat the GOAT, Tom Brady. The Ravens
The goat top.
beat
Porn star begging.
Jimmy Garoppolo. They also beat Deshaun Watson this year. Why are the Ravens not the best team? Why does Pete disagree with this?
I think just because obviously they're bursting on the scene now. They had a playoff. They had an ugly playoff loss last year. Lamar Jackson's still trying to come into his own. He does look like one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. That defense looks really, really tough. But I'm going to disagree with Pete here, man. I think the Ravens right now, I think they are the best. What more do you want them to do? Who else do you need to beat? Obviously, they need to win in the playoffs. They need to win the title. But what more do you want them to do? And who predicted Baltimore by 3 last week? I just wanted to put that in there.
It was
What?
I mean, you guys could have both done it.
I guess we did both do it.
Both done it.
I was the first. No, I said it first. But let's go to the damn tape. But I said it.
But the one thing I did get right.
I thought you said the Niners.
Yeah,
That's a 3-point game.
I could have sworn he said the Niners.
said-
We gotta go to the tape. We gotta go to the tape on this one.
Here's one
We
thing.
gotta go to the tape on this one.
I'll get to it.
Yeah, you go ahead. I could have sworn he said the Niners.
Here's the one thing that I did get right at the beginning of the season. John Harbaugh, not Jim, not Kevin. John's a phenomenal coach.
Yeah, he is, man.
What they did was build around Lamar Jackson. Kudos to them because how many teams now build around a mobile quarterback? Now that's going to be the trend. It's going to be a copycat league. They literally put pieces around Lamar Jackson that fit Lamar Jackson. They didn't try to fit Lamar Jackson into another system that doesn't fit him.
That's a great point. Great
So,
point.
I mean,
The same guy that was fucking all over him on the Monday Night Football game, Booger McFarland, he actually, before the draft, said that he probably should go to wide
wide
receiver.
receiver. Yeah.
Crazy, man.
And he was the one all over him on Monday night.
And again, that was an ugly playoff loss last year. I know people, have touched on that. Because they didn't think Lamar Jackson they didn't think he was a pocket passer.
He was a rookie,
They
though.
thought he was just a runner. He was a runner. And look, he's proven everybody wrong this league this year. So it's crazy what type of year he's having.
No, I mean, he's having,
phenomenal.
outside of, maybe Russell Wilson, I think Lamar Jackson
Yeah.
is probably the MVP.
I think so too.
But, again, the style he plays at, he's still a mobile quarterback, runs a lot, and he's still got 4 more games. Like, I'm not trying to be a skeptic or a critic, but
Legitimate, though.
here's the thing. People got to start hitting him.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
that's
only
why I
way.
had him last week.
That's the only way to make. It's the only way you're gonna stop him. That's the only way you're gonna make him throw the ball more. You gonna start hitting him. You gotta
They
say
forced him to stand down so he couldn't run out of bounds. They forced him to stand down so he took a lot of shots last week.
like you need to blitz him, and you need. I'm not talking about conventional blitzes. Like you need to send corners. You need to send safeties. Like you need to send guys that are just as fast as him or almost as close to his speed. Not your linemen, not your linebackers. You need those guys that are as quick as him. That can make a play with him on the open field. If he's got a linebacker there, or he's got a lineman over there, that's it. You saw what he did to the dude.
Yeah.
So he did an and one move on the dude from the Niners last
Literally
week.
broke his hand.
So that's what teams need to do. I mean,
he's so athletic.
it's a copycat league. So when one team figures out how to beat you, the other teams will too. And we'll see what's going to happen moving forward. The one team that we did figure out how to beat, finally, were the New England Patriots. They got squashed for 3 quarters against the Houston Texans. And what I saw from that game, Pete, was they doubled Edelman. And they pretty much forced Tom Brady to not look at his check down and to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So now that we know that, and like I said last week,
We know for a year he was a check down quarterback.
we said that last week. We also said Aaron Hernandez wasn't walking out the door. Neither was Gronk. Neither is Antonio Brown. Neither is Josh Gordon. And neither
Terry
is
Glenn.
Terry Glenn, Demaryius Thomas. They're not walking out that door. What is your emphasis? What do you think the league thinks of the New England Patriots now after seeing Deshaun Watson and the boys do what they did this Sunday?
I think they think the same way. They're going to still put them in prime time anytime they get a chance. That's the reason why they didn't move them off prime time, because they could have easily moved them off prime time and had San Fran versus Baltimore, but no, they kept New England. They're still going to look at them the same way. They're a money-making team for them, and they're still going to put them above everybody else. But in terms of what fans are going to think of them, I think they're starting to think, you know what? It's like Rocky when he finally hit the Russian. You're like, you see he's actually hurt. They're not a machine anymore. And I think that teams are going to now start piling on them and try to jump on them while they can see them a little hurt.
Now, in terms of what we saw from the Texans, I mean, no, you know what? Let's stick to the Patriots. I think they deserve our attention before we move on to the Texans. They've been the consistent.
That's why they put them in prime time.
Exactly. They've been the model consistency in this league for about 15 to 20 years.
Belichick.
Is this the end of this era?
Not until they lose in the playoffs. Not until you see that book shut, so to speak. Because listen, with this team, even though it looked ugly, even though they lost, it's like they're like the damn Terminator. They just come back alive, and then they find a freaking way to make it, and then they just damn win a Super Bowl when you don't think they're going to win. So not until they lose in the playoffs, I will say that that book is still open. So.
The book is close to me. What I saw last week was an old quarterback who doesn't trust his offensive line.
Yep.
Who has one target.
He may actually retire this year.
Who has one target.
He said he wasn't going to retire until he was
has one target.
He lies.
He's got
lies.
one target.
Hashtag lies, Brady.
Yeah,
damn it.
He's got one target that can't stretch the field. He just goes right up the middle. You already know Belichick wanted Garoppolo.
Yeah.
You know, and this is probably the reason why. And I've never seen Bill Belichick again spend so much time with his defense. And he's like Brady and McDaniels, whatever.
He knows his defense has to win the game.
So
this is gonna do it now.
I don't want to say this too premature,
Just say it.
but I think
I think
this is the season where the dynasty might be over for a season or two, and I think they break up.
I know. That's my problem. Yeah.
Belichick and Brady break up.
Said it last year.
I think Belichick and Brady break up.
Really? Alright, so that's different. That's different. I thought you were just gonna say dynasty is dead. They're not gonna win any more Super Bowls. To say they're gonna break up, you think
They're gonna break up. I think Belichick has had it.
Patriots are still
Really?
They're not.
so? Wait a minute. You think the Patriots are gonna take Belichick, keep him, and let Brady
Throw
go?
flag.
They've done that to every other player that's come through that system.
Except for Brady. Except for Brady. This is his system. Like they made a system
This is
for
his
him.
team. This is his team.
Like, wow.
Bro, he can't throw the ball past 15 yards anymore. Tom Brady.
And when he does, he hurts his shoulder.
And he gets mad at everybody.
He's not everybody else. I mean, Sanu's been a complete bust.
Yeah.
Oh my
he's-
God.
That's been a bad one.
Like,
They let go of Josh Gordon.
They like
stupid.
And they have no. And they,
Well, I don't know if it's stupid. He's not really doing nothing.
it's
in
not that
Seattle
much in
right now,
Seattle, but I mean, they pretty much faked the injury with him to get him off the
I mean,
team.
it's too much to handle, dude. That's a lot to handle. And then on top of that, Antonio Brown. I mean, he's not in jail. He's not in jail yet, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Key word.
Yeah. He could have been utilized. He could have definitely been utilized.
Yeah.
One game with Brady, he had a freaking 30-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And
After
now,
like two practices.
See, Pop thinks that the Patriots are done after this year. That's basically what he's saying. All right, so we'll see. Again.
Oh, challenge flag.
Challenge on these two guys right here.
Yes,
I got the tape.
Oh, here we
got
go.
the tape.
Here we go. Going to the tape.
Go back to the tape.
Who said first?
What's that? I
Oh,
can't.
see, but he got a head start on you. He said it on Pete's Corner.
We got San Francisco to win in the
He said it on Pete's Corner.
Hey, we should have a timeout.
Thank you.
Timeout.
Thank you.
You win the
Listen to the
timeout.
rest of the tape. I said it was going to be a 3-point game either way.
We're going to win it outright.
All right, so
We're going to win it outright.
moving
Win
along.
it outright.
Moving along.
Congrats, Dave.
Thank you. I know.
Moving along. What's the prognosis on the Texans moving forward? I mean, big win, obviously.
The Texans moving forward is going to depend on two games. The two games they play against the Titans. If they win both of those games, they obviously
They have
have
to
the
versus
division.
the Titans.
If they win one of those games, then it's going to be really close to one game, whether they win or lose it. And if they lose both games, they're not going to be in playoffs.
Okay.
So it's going to come down to those two games against the Titans. But they
Again,
played them two of the last
I
weeks
thought
of
it
the
was a
season.
big win,
That's big.
but again, there's a lot of inconsistencies with the Houston Texans. And Bill O'Brien
The
to
line
me,
still sucks.
yeah, the line still
Yeah, it
sucks.
does.
And Bill O'Brien to me is just not an elite coach. He might be he's a good coach, but that's about it. And good coaches don't last in this league, not very often. Monday night, Seattle looking like everyone forgot about us. You guys want to talk about the Niners? You guys want to talk about the Saints?
Russell Wilson, baby.
Russell Wilson taking over the West. How about the NFL, Pete? You think they are the best team in the NFL? I think you said that
Yeah.
to start the show.
Yeah, I think they're the best team in the NFL. It's amazing that one win moved San Fran from top of the rankings to fifth, to where they would have to play a road game against Dallas of all teams with 6-6. So,
Fuck yeah, 6-6. Supposed to San Francisco.
so yeah,
I
that's
thought they were
how.
going to change that rule. Where the division winner, if you had a worse record, you have to travel.
No.
Nah?
That's a 13-3 team with a
Listen, because they want to put their importance on winning division. That's the reason why they didn't change it. So I think that's how fast life could change in the NFL. But I think right now they're playing the best. They're the best team in the league with 4 weeks ago.
Wow. I like Seattle to be in the conference championship. I think I said that last week. I think they lose to the Saints. I'm still sticking with that. But Russell Wilson's playing balls to the
They
wall.
said they use Kamara more.
Well, no, Anderson, Taysom Hill.
They give him 10 carries a game now.
Well, that shit happens. So we talked about the West, David, and now we're leading into the worst division in football. The worst time, the team that's going to get a home game against the loser. Not the loser, but the team that finishes second.
Talk about Dre's favorite team.
So the horrible NFC East is going to get the home game
Crazy.
against the second best team in the NFC West. How crazy is that, number one?
Who's worse, Philly or fucking Cowboys?
I mean, who wants to win the NFC East, David? Does anyone want to win?
I don't think anybody does.
Redskins want to win now. They're 3-9. They got a shot.
God damn it.
Are the Giants mathematically out?
Last week they shut this guy low.
Okay, so we got
But the Redskins are 3-9.
The Redskins still in there.
They can win the last four, and they did a scenario where they can actually get in the 7-9.
Oh my god.
Listen, this division is just,
Okay, so
it's upside down. I mean, it's just like, Eagles have a good week, and then, the Cowboys have a good week, and then all of a sudden they have bad weeks. Nobody wants, this whole division is trash.
They'll probably win the first
7
round
and 9 is probably going to win this
So I'm
division.
going to jump on them for the first round game. They'll be at home.
I don't give a fuck.
So they're at home with Thanksgiving. You can't get.
Are they gonna have any fans showing up that day? Of course.
Of course they will. But here's my thing. Every time we talk about the Cowboys, all we hear about them, they have so much talent. Wow, wow, wow. What talent? What are we talking about? Super Bowl contending talent? They haven't been one winning team this whole year.
The real Amari
Jason
Cooper
Garrett can't be that
showed
good.
up.
Jason
Randall
Garrett
Cobb,
can't be that-
baby. Randall Cobb.
Jason Garrett cannot be that bad of a coach if they have that much talent.
They don't. That's the problem. It's both. First is a bad coach.
Okay.
But two, they don't have as much talent as they're hyped to be.
He's a coordinator. He's not a
People started to say that Amari Cooper was now a top tier wide receiver. He had a honeymoon period. That's what he had. He had a couple good games. He didn't have a full season of good games. He had a couple good games, and they hyped him up. And now they're seeing what the Raiders saw when they got rid of him. Listen, Zeke is going to be Zeke. Zeke is still putting up good numbers. But they probably don't give Zeke the ball enough right now. So they might as well just give him 25, 30 carries and let try to carry him to the playoffs.
I think this defense was supposed to be a lot better than it is this year, too. They had high expectations with this defense, and obviously they've fallen short.
Listen, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing about the Cowboys and their phenomenal talent. They're an average team. That's it. I get it. You want the ratings. You want the ratings.
You might as well see New England versus Dallas in the average bowl.
Nah, but New England's the defense, though.
I think they're overrated too. The defense is overrated.
Who's defense?
I've been saying that at the start of the year when they were racking up all these interceptions against no-name teams. That's what they were doing.
Patriots defense.
Now that they started playing against teams, they got run up. Baltimore ran up the score on them. Now this past week, Houston ran up the score on them. When they play against good teams, they run up the score on them.
KC, shit, who knows?
Yeah, KC's gonna run up the score on them too.
Whoa, let's not get
We'll get that Sunday. But they
That's
don't
Sunday.
run
We'll get to that Sunday. But anyways,
Hey.
so we go from the average Cowboys. We go from the average Cowboys to the mediocre Philadelphia Eagles and their overrated quarterback. Again, I'm saying it. He's overrated. You guys love this guy Carson Wentz. What has he done? What has he done, David?
Nothing this year. Maybe he still has back issues.
Maybe he's just not that good.
Pick up the truck. He's done.
But good
Yeah,
news for
Mom.
you Eagle
Oh,
fans. Good news for you Eagle fans. Eli Manning is playing this Monday.
Well, the thing is back. What are you talking
Omaha.
about? Philadelphia.
Omaha!
Touchdowns this week.
Listen, man, I love you, Eli, but if you win 2 games against the Eagles, and we don't get Chase Young because of you, I'm gonna go to the W Hoboken and strangle you.
Yeah, he's gonna screw both teams by winning this week.
He's not gonna win.
He's not going to win.
He's not gonna win.
He's gonna win, dude.
He's not gonna win. Anyways, so gun to your head. Who wins the division? We're gonna do this every week. Who wins the division ever?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. I hate to say
Gun
it.
to your head. Who wins the division? Eagles. I'm going with Eagles too. I don't trust the Cowboys ever. Even though I don't trust
can never
Carson
trust
Wentz.
Trust the Eagles either, but
But
Wait, but you guys trust Philly that gave up a 14-0 lead against Miami?
I don't trust Dallas.
I don't trust Dallas. I don't trust Dallas at all. I don't.
Dallas is a bigger hype job, I think.
Jason
I think
Garrett
they
will
are.
still be coaching next year.
Well, he'll be coaching some team, according
Yep.
to Jerry Jones. Not
The challenge flag was ignored.
jumping right into it.
by the belt.
Jumping right into it. We do have the bowl of the average happening tomorrow when Dallas goes to Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago does have a really good defense. They just
Haven't
have
been playing like it.
I mean, you kind of lose your team when your quarterback sucks sometimes.
Khalil Mack's been disappearing.
So,
Matt Nagy?
Matt Nagy, Chase, what is it, Mitchell?
Mitchell Trubisky.
whatever his name is.
And they never
Chase
have
Mitchell.
Chase Mitchell.
Chase Daniels the backup. He's better than Mitchell Starter.
Oh, what about Pinheiro? Fucking
That's the kicker, yeah.
Ooh.
The kicker that keeps missing.
Pinheiro.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, this has been a bad year for kickers anyway. Kickers and tight ends.
Allen Robinson's still doing this.
I Chicago, how they're doing.
So who needs this game more? The Bears, the Cowboys? Do we even care?
The
Nobody
Cowboys
cares.
need it. The Cowboys need it more because they actually have a chance to make the playoffs. I don't think the Bears have a chance to make it.
What do you mean? I saw a graphic on Twitter yesterday that said that the Bears are going to finish 10-6.
I said they're gonna win. Oh, yeah, that shit was stupid as hell. Yeah. They had them finishing 10-6. They had the Steelers finishing 10-6. Trey's a Steelers fan. He won't believe they're gonna be 10-6. That's terrible.
I know Tennessee's not going to be 10-6.
Duck's gonna make them 10-6.
Throw back at him. Throw back
Duck's
at
gonna
him.
make them 10-6.
Terrible.
Throw back at him. All right, so who wins tomorrow?
I think Chicago's gonna win. It's just because, first of all, it's a horrible game. I hope it ends with a tie. But I think Chicago will win off of Dallas missed field goal.
I think Chicago's going to win because the Cowboys suck. So. I don't care. I don't care. Cowboys fans get mad at me. I know the Giants suck, but you guys hype your team up every year. And every year they disappoint you. At least I'm used to disappointment. When we get to 9-7, we usually go on Super Bowl runs. So if we're not 9-7 or 10-6, I really don't pay attention.
Johnny's have an excuse. Dallas right now have zero.
They have zero excuses. Dave, what's your thoughts on tomorrow's game? Do you care who you got to win?
I really don't care about the game, but I think the Bears will pull it out. So
Okay.
If the Bears pull it out, does Gary get fired?
Who?
Does Gary get
Nah,
fired?
I think they're gonna wait till the end of the season. I think they wait. I think. I know.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, that's a little different,
I
but
think-
I think they'll wait till the end of the
The
season.
owners didn't want Ron Rivera.
Chicago wins by 2 touchdowns. I think he gets fired.
No.
That's embarrassing.
So
Maybe.
Chicago wins.
Maybe.
Chicago
Good point.
wins.
Good point. Maybe.
Chicago wins by 2 touchdowns, and then Baylor beats Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley's So dive right into it. Dive right into it, boys.
Week.
Championship week. We're just gonna go right into it. I know there's a game Friday, which I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
But Saturdays kick off at noon. Baylor, Oklahoma, to me, is very important to this whole landscape of. No. I think that game is more important in terms of what happens in the top 4 than the Utah game is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with that one. Lincoln Riley, I think he's gonna be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry's gonna go with him with like.
He's not gonna let him leave the stadium.
No, not.
That game is at Dallas Cowboys.
He's right there. That's what I'm saying. The Cowboys lose. He's flying at AT&T Stadium. He's gonna keep him there. He's gonna offer him probably like ownership in the Cowboys, Triple G equity. And you can't say no.
Oh man.
But in terms of the game,
Yeah.
I do like Oklahoma in this game for whatever reason. Lincoln Riley's proven to be a good quarterback whisperer, as they say. He's got 2 Heisman. Jalen Hurts, obviously better than Lincoln Riley than he was than Nick Saban.
Yeah.
All right, I'm kidding. I'm going for Baylor, so fuck it. I'm sorry.
I actually think Baylor's gonna win the game outright.
Who won the first one? Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, they came back from 28-3 down.
I don't have any good reason as to why I think Baylor's going to win. I just want them to.
I think Baylor, like I said, Baylor was up 23. They were dominating the game, and I think they let the momentum get to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma ran with it because when they have momentum, what Lincoln Riley knows how to run offense, and they went nuts. But I think that Baylor played the better game, and I think they're going to win this game on neutral field. So I got Baylor.
Jalen Hurts, does he get it done this Saturday?
I think he does. So I actually expect different guys. I think Oklahoma, listen, they're rolling right now. It's going to be a close one, but I like Jalen Hurts. I like Oklahoma's chances in this game. So
I think this is a really good game.
it's going to be a tough game.
I think this is one of the best weekends of football we're gonna have all year.
Yeah.
Obviously get into the NFL on Sunday, but just to start Saturday with that noon game. As much as I love Friday's game, I think Friday's game is probably gonna be the game of the weekend between the Oregon Ducks and the Utah Utes. What's a Ute? What's a Ute? Two Utes. Two what? Two what?
I love that.
Now, the 2 U's. Nice little my cousin Vinny reference in there. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, back and forth, and I think whoever has the ball at the end of the game is going to win. And for my money, I think Oregon it's gonna upset Utah. As much as I want a Pac-12 team in the college football playoff,
Yeah,
I think Oregon wins this game because they'll have the ball last and they have the better quarterback.
I agree with that. I think Oregon wins that game outright. I think I just trust the quarterback more, so I'm gonna go with them.
Guys, I agree, and I said it I said it, on Sunday. I think Oregon takes it, and I think it's obviously big implications, obviously. And,
You
Guys good?
to the
to
playoffs.
you.
You guys ready?
To what?
Good?
I'm good.
To what?
Yeah, that's what you say.
But yeah, all right. I mean, as much as I want a Pac-12 team, this is probably their best chance to get in since I think Washington was in it a couple years ago. I think had Oregon beat Arizona State, I think they're shooing for the
The
playoff.
part that sucks is I think if they beat Oregon, I still think the winner of Oklahoma and Baylor are Jones.
I think if Oklahoma wins,
I
they're
don't think
in.
Utah have a shot.
I think so.
I think if Utah wins, they're in. If Oklahoma loses, I don't think Baylor gets in over Utah.
Yeah, but you're talking about you saw beating number 13, 14 team, and you're talking about Baylor beating number 7, 18. Like it's tough to not move them past them with that.
I mean, here's my thing, and I'll keep it brief. I don't understand why we can't go to a system where it's 6 teams,
Same here. That's
5 power conferences
That's
get
the best.
5 power conference gets their champion in, and then the best non-FBS team gets in as a
That
6
makes the
seed.
most sense. You play your way by winning the conference, and then the next best team.
So I mean, I think that would make it fair. If you don't win your conference, why do you deserve to be in a national championship game?
Yeah.
So,
because you're a name.
yeah, because your name basically. So we're gonna go
Ain't
to.
worked out Bama this year.
We're gonna go. And they almost did. Almost did. They were not moving from that fifth spot. They were not moving from that 5th spot, no matter what happened, unless they lost. So
And that was your last game.
that was the last game. So that's it. Thank God. Shout out to Auburn,
I apologize.
War Eagle. I picked you guys. War Eagle.
I apologize.
I apologize too because I had
I picked you
bad.
guys.
I had bad.
America's
I
work.
had bad.
You did America's work. You had mid.
I mean, when you
had
score
40, 50
how many
year old
points?
ladies.
You made Nick
45
Saban almost have
points?
to have a heart attack on the field.
You also had 50-year-old women getting stuck on bushes. So
Yeah.
I think that they still stuck. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. We're gonna go to another named school, and that's Georgia, and they're playing who I think this is the foregone team. This is they're playing the best team in the country. I still have no idea whether the number 2 team. First, does Georgia have a chance at an upset here? And if LSU wins this game, should they leapfrog Ohio State?
Yes, on both counts. I think Georgia has a shot, but I don't think they'll win it. I think LSU is the best team in the country. They score around 40 points per game, and I don't think Georgia can get up to that amount. And I think that beating the number 4 team in the country will jump them over Ohio State.
They don't hire Pete. So the people in the
Project. You gotta
Back,
project.
so the people in the back of here.
Yeah, just this season.
I mean, that's right. You're right. I've been saying it along with Pete.
It's gone.
I've been saying it with Pete since I guess September. Since mid-October, that we thought LSU was the best team in the nation, and so far they've gone on to prove it. They've beaten 4 ranked opponents, I believe, and now this will be their 5th ranked opponent. I think this will be their 3rd top 10 ranked opponent. Should they win? So
Second top 5.
Second top 5.
Top 4.
second top 4. So should they win this game, I don't see how Ohio State stays in that number 1 spot. But again, this committee
I
does
think the
whatever they
committee
want.
wants to screw. They want to screw one of those 2 teams between LSU and Clemson because they'll have to play in the first round.
I mean, then what's the point of having this resume then? Is there a point of having a resume?
Committee doesn't care about resume.
So I was watching the show today. I was watching the show today,
Yeah.
and literally, if LSU wins this game, they'll have the best resume that's ever been put together in a college football playoff committee thing. Best win percentage, obviously. Strength of schedule number 1. Beating 5 ranked opponents, 2 in the top, 3 in the top 10, 2 in the top 5. Dave, what the hell's going on? Why are they not the number 1 team?
I don't know, and I agree with both of you about this week. I think Georgia has a slight shot, to take this, but I don't think so. Like Pete said, I mean they're averaging so many points per game. It shouldn't even be a leapfrog. I mean they should be number 1 right now.
They don't want.
So,
They don't want to have Coach on this. They don't want to have him there.
I don't know. Maybe,
But number one team-
maybe Burrows is not the poster child that they want. I don't know.
He should be. He'll be number 1 pick in the draft. He should be.
That's my guy though. Ed Oregon, that's my guy. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
I like LSU.
You gotta get that soundbite.
So,
You too.
moving to the 8 o'clock game. I know there's the ACC championship, but we're not even gonna care about that. I mean, if Clemson loses that game,
Clemson better win that by 30.
if they lose that game, I don't want to
They
hear
probably
anything. Whoa.
No.
They won't lose.
No.
No, I
They
said,
won by
I
30.
said they'll probably win by 30.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say that.
So I mean, I think Clemson's automatically in. That's a 3.
Damn.
That's a 3. So we're gonna start with you, Dave, since you've been a Wisconsin Badger fan all season long.
JT.
They had a chance to prove their worth last time they played Ohio State. That didn't happen. What changes this time? Does it change, or does Ohio State run them over again?
No, this is not. I mean, I like Wisconsin. Like I've said before. I mean, I thought they were going to be in, top 4. At this time, obviously they're not.
So you had 3 Big Ten teams in the top 4.
Yeah.
You had Penn State.
Because I'm biased. I like Penn State. I know. It doesn't make sense. So, remember we were having this conversation. I was like, "Is there any way Penn State?" No, there's no. Dave, there's no way. I'm like, "Damn it!" I really like Penn State, but no, I think Ohio State gets it done. I mean, listen, they're just rolling right now. They look unstoppable right now. They have so much talent. It's going to be tough for Wisconsin to take this game.
I think Ohio State wins.
They're going to win handily.
I think it'll be a close game. Actually, I think.
Remember that spread, that 16.5?
I think they definitely do. I think it's going to be a lot closer than the first game. I think Wisconsin's motivated. More motivated this time because the pressure isn't on them to win the game. They don't have to win the game, essentially. Because if they win, they're not getting the top 4.
Yeah.
So, you win, you may go to the Rose Bowl or whatever bowl the Big Ten championship gets. But you're not going to win the national championship. Pressure's on Ohio State. I think on Pete's Corner, you said the first quarter is really important. I agree. I think Ohio State comes out kind of flat or kind of nervous. Not flat, but nervous, more along the lines of the pressure's on them. And I think we have a close game throughout. I see Ohio State win by a touchdown.
I think if the game is tied or Ohio State is up, they'll probably win the game by 1 score. If Wisconsin's up by 3 or 7 after the first quarter, I think Wisconsin beats them outright.
Okay.
I think once they get out to that early lead and they're able to run the ball, I think that'll be huge towards them because that's the biggest problem with them. They're a running team. You know about your boy Jonathan Taylor, one of the best backs in the college football. If he can run the ball early, all right, JT Jr. if he can run the ball early, get out to an early lead, they can start rolling with that because that's all about Wisconsin. That's their game. They want to run the ball. That'll keep the clock moving, and that'll keep the offense of Ohio State off the field. But if they let Ohio State jump out early, they'll get blown again. But I think they'll be able to run the ball and keep it close.
Okay, so this is going to be a tougher question. Do you guys remember who you guys picked for the top 4 at the beginning of the season?
Hell no.
I did. I got 3. I got, so far,
You gotta go to
I got 3 out of the 5 alive. I had LSU. I had Ohio State.
LSU.
I had
I did pick LSU.
Alabama.
I
No, I had
picked
Clemson.
Alabama too.
No, I had LSU,
Wisconsin.
Alabama,
Wisconsin.
Oklahoma.
No.
I don't remember. I had LSU, Clemson, Alabama, and Oklahoma. So I have LSU and Clemson should be locked. Oklahoma is a side, so I have 3 of the 4, but I don't know. I'm picking Baylor to win.
I had Clemson. I had Alabama. I had LSU. I think I had Notre Dame.
You remember who you had? Penn State,
No.
Ohio State.
Probably.
Yeah, LSU.
All the states.
So we have
Big Ten team.
Wisconsin.
Give me them all.
Big Ten team.
Why not?
So,
Michigan.
Put 'em in.
so now we'll be here. I think this gets released Sunday, right? We don't wait till Tuesday after check.
Maybe Monday.
Maybe Monday. So
Oh no, you're right,
I
son.
think it's Sunday. So before we should have a better idea before we start our show of who will be the top 4. If you haven't predicted that, who's the top 4? Or who's the top 4 after this weekend?
Come to your head.
Not in any in order. Or
Any
not
14.
Okay.
Any 14.
So LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and the 4th I said was going to be I forgot what did I say on Sunday.
It's Sunday. What do you want now?
No, now, right now. Come to your head right now.
You can't put another Big Ten team.
I'm gonna go with.
I
That's
got
a tough one.
3.
Well, let's-
Come on, Dave. Let's go.
We got 14.
Cue the music.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
I'll go with Oklahoma. I think that's what I said on Sunday, and I'm sticking with it. I think I said they had the easiest route to this playoff. I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go. LSU number 1, obviously number 2, Clemson number 3, and for some odd reason, because of what's gonna happen,
He's going with Utah.
for some odd reason, for whatever happens this weekend, I think Baylor finishes.
Motherfucker! Baylor? Really?
I got Baylor beating Oklahoma. If Baylor beats Oklahoma, right, and Utah loses to Oregon, I think Baylor's that shoe-in. And don't put it past the committee to leave Georgia at number 4 if that happens. So, or maybe bump Alabama up there for not even having a game. So,
I'm going to say LSU. I'm going to say Ohio State. I'm going to say Clemson. And I was going to say Baylor, so I'll say Baylor.
I think Baylor wins their end because I think Utah loses their end. So, we have about 3 minutes left. Big fight this weekend in Saudi Arabia. One's going to go. I also value my life. I don't want to be beheaded or anything like that. No disrespect. Just kidding. I love you guys. Saudi Arabia, don't come after me.
Jesus. Here we go.
This fight happened in New York about 6 months ago. Andy Ruiz upset Anthony Joshua. Andy Ruiz as a late replacement. Now we're in a place where Andy Ruiz has never been before. Obviously, Joshua's been in Saudi Arabia. He's been training in the embassy that's in Saudi Arabia. Louis Pabon, the worst referee in boxing, is refereeing this fight.
Great.
I'm sure there's judges out there that Eddie Hearn brought in. All the decks are stacked against Andy Ruiz. David, what happened Saturday, and how does Andy Ruiz win this fight without getting a knockout, basically?
I mean, I think he is going to need a knockout to win this fight. So,
He's going to have to.
But listen, I'm going to have to go with my paisano, man. He's going to knock out Joshua. I'm going to say 10th round knockout this time around. Listen, I think Andy Ruiz knows how to beat Joshua again. He's not going to be scared of, getting hit. He's already felt his power. He's already been able to get up from it. He just can't be reckless, obviously. He's got to, use his hand speed, use his footwork, pretty much do what he did last fight. It looks like he's had a really good training camp. It looks like he trained really, really hard. He looks a little slimmer this time around. So as long as he put in that work, I think Joshua can be beat again. So obviously me being a little biased because, with my Mexican pride, but I think he gets it done again, and I think he knocks out Joshua again.
His thoughts on the fight. What happened on Saturday?
I think it's going to end probably in the 7th round by knockout. The tough part is I think either one of them can knock each other out. Despite what people think, Joshua can knock him out.
Of course, he dropped him.
I know, but people want to act like it was a flash knockdown all of a sudden, like, oh, he can't really hurt him. He did stun him. He did knock him down. I think Joshua wins the fight. I think Joshua gets his belt back, and then I think they're gonna have part 3.
Thank you.
I'm not sure
Where's the flag?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Too late. Next play's already going on.
They already got past.
Joshua looks a lot slimmer than he did in the first fight. Obviously, Ruiz does too.
Does.
I'm conflicted because I think Andy has the tools to win this fight, but I think Anthony Joshua wins this fight by decision. I think it goes to full 12.
Again, going against the Mexican, these two, like they did it against Canelo.
Listen,
when they went with Kovalev, and it's hard to talk.
Listen,
Thank you.
my heart's with Andy. I want Andy to win.
I was one of the few people rooting for him.
I was rooting for Andy last time. I'm gonna root for him this time. I can root since I'm not covering the fight, so I'm gonna be rooting for Andy Ruiz. So if you guys want to call me biased, fuck you. I'm not covering the fight, so I can actually root for someone. So I'm rooting for Andy. Andy's not gonna get a decision, boys.
No, I don't think
He's
so.
just not. So I think it goes to the cards. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's a stoppage. Hope he knocks him out. But I think it goes to the cards, and Joshua wins.
I think Joshua knocks him out. I'm sorry, Ruiz knocks him out. I think he knocks him out in the 9th round.
That's it, baby. That's it,
He
bro.
won't get up on some he tries to get up and then say he's up for the count.
So that's our show. We'll be back Sunday. You guys want to talk about Charlo and Hogan? No, we won't. We're not going to talk about that. Trash fight. We'll see you Sunday. Championship week. Enjoy. Peace.
We got it back.